from Bell.
Not long now, just 8 minutes to kickoff. In any football game, you must avoid penalties. Let us introduce to you the crew that would just as soon...
I'll be the referee for today's Grey Cup game.
My name is Bill Jones. I'm from Montreal. I'll be the umpire today.
I'm Ken Lazark, the head linesman from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
And I'm from Ottawa, Ontario.
My name is Larry Rohan. I'm the back judge from North Vancouver, BC.
Brian Donnelly. I'm the field judge from Vancouver, British Columbia.
I'm Ross Perrier, alternate referee from Scarborough, Ontario.
And I'm Don Ellis, alternate field official from Scarborough, Ontario.
Vancouver's BC Place wishes to welcome you to the 74th Grey Cup Championship. Amateurs de football, bienvenue au stade BC Place pour le 74e match de la Coupe Grey. Introducing the starting offensive lineup of the Eastern Champions. Voici maintenant les joueurs partants en attaque pour les champions de l'Est, les Hamilton Tiger Cats. At center, le centre, numéro 63, number 63, Marv Allemagne. Left guard, garde à gauche, numéro 58, number 58, Jason Riley. Right guard, garde à droite, numéro 56, number 56, Dale Sanderson. Left tackle, bloqueur à gauche, numéro 66, number 66, Miles Gorel. Right tackle, bloqueur à droite, numéro 67, number 67, Ralph Scholes. Wide receiver, receveur éloigné, numéro 75, number 75, Ron Ingram. Wide receiver, receveur éloigné, numéro 80, number 80, Steve Stapler. Slotback, demi-inséré numéro 1, number 1, Tony Champion. Slotback, demi-inséré numéro 23, number 23, Rocky DiPietro. Halfback, demi, numéro 34, number 34, Walter Banda. Fullback, centre arrière, numéro 35, number 35, Jed Tommy. Quarterback, le quart, numéro 2, number 2, Mike Kerrigan. The head coach, l'entraîneur-chef, Al Bruno, the assistant coaches, ses adjoints, and the rest of the Hamilton Tiger Cats et les autres champions de l'Est. Now, introducing the starting defensive lineup of the Western Division champions. Voici maintenant les joueurs partants en défense des champions de l'Ouest, the Edmonton Eskimos. Right hand, ailier à droite, numéro 88, number 88, Tom Tooney. Right tackle, plaqueur à droite, numéro 75, number 75, John Mandarich. Left tackle, plaqueur à gauche, numéro 92, number 92, James Zachary. Left hand, ailier à gauche, numéro 36, number 36, Stuart Hill. Left linebacker, secondaire à gauche, numéro 43, number 43, Craig Schaefer. Middle linebacker, secondaire intérieur, numéro 30, number 30, Danny Bass. Right linebacker, secondaire à droite, numéro 49, number 49, Frank Balkovac. Cornerback, demi de coin, numéro 28, number 28, Ron Howard. Halfback, demi, numéro 29, number 29, Jeff George. Safety, le maraudeur, numéro 24, number 24, Phil Jones. Halfback, demi, numéro 6, number 6, Cliff Toney. Quarterback, demi de coin, numéro 4, number 4, Greg Harding. The head coach, l'entraîneur-chef, Jackie Parker. The assistant coaches, ses adjoints, and the rest of the Edmonton Eskimos et les autres champions de l'Ouest.
Whit, you've got to promise me that you will not tell the Eskimos that I picked Hamilton to win. They looked scary coming out of there today.
Patrick, both teams looked very intense as they were introduced to the crowd here at the stadium at BC Place. Two teams that are very fired up for this football game, the 74th edition of the Grey Cup. And reporting during the course of the game from the sidelines, let's join Al McCann and Steve Armitage.
Well, thank you, Don. Down here at the Eskimo bench, there's concerns because this young football club have only 8 players with Grey Cup experience, and all week long they've had to live with the fact that they are the heavy favorites, and they know that Matt Dunnigan, their star, does have a chronic elbow problem. But all that aside, they also realize they're on a roll. They've won 3 in a row. They look awfully good, and the same team that plays today is the team that demoralized British Columbia just 1 week ago, and they would dearly love to bring Jackie Parker his first ever Grey Cup championship as a coach and his first Grey Cup championship in 30 years. We'll know in just about 2.5 hours from now. Let's go over across the field to the Hamilton bench and Steve Armitage.
Al, first of all, I have something to put your mind at ease. We do not have horses here at BC Place Stadium. For those of you that don't remember, Al McCann was covering a game at McMahon Stadium in Calgary when he was run down by the Stampeders horse. Fortunately, he wasn't injured. Al, the only horses we're going to have here today will be at halftime, but you don't have to worry about those. And speaking of injuries, I had a chance to talk to the Hamilton Ticats a few moments ago, and they tell me that 2 players that might have played in this game definitely won't appear this afternoon. John Malinowski, who is out with a knee injury, and Les Brown, who is out with a hamstring pull. Both of those players were involved in injury situations against the Toronto Argonauts last weekend. That's about it for the Hamilton Ticats, outside of a bunches of bruises that they picked up in a very physical series against the Argos. Right now, we're going to midfield and the official toss of the coin.
63, Marv Alamang, and 27, Paul Bennett from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And from the Eskimos, the captains, 92, James Zachary, and 59, Leo Blanchard.
Hamilton, it's your option. Are you going to pick now or the second half? Now, kick, receive, or choose an end. Take the ball, which it kick from. Hamilton will receive.
Well, it's not surprising that they took the football. They did win the toss, and let's face it, if you're playing in the biggest game of the year, you want to get the jump.
Particularly when you're playing indoors and weather is not going to be a factor. They do want the football. An
Moving
interesting
into center
statistic
field
about these two teams is that during the course of regular season play, the Edmonton Eskimos yielded one less point than the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And these two teams over their last dozen games. Edmonton with a 9-2-1 record, Hamilton 8-3-1. Remember, Hamilton started 1-5, and that 8-3-1 record coincides with the emergence of Mike Kerrigan as a starting quarterback.
There's another statistic that should be remembered. Hamilton has not beaten Edmonton in their last 15 games. It's almost inevitable that that streak has to end sometime, doesn't it? Let's go to midfield right now. There's the commissioner of the Canadian Football League, Doug Mitchell, holding for the Honorable Otto Jelinek. He got away a 45-yarder a year ago. Ooh, that's a good one as well. I told him, though, he's got to practice his hang time.
Well, if Paul Osbaldiston gets into trouble and some team is looking for a placement kicker, perhaps the Honorable Otto Jelinek will volunteer. That was a pretty good kick.
Let me just add something else. I ran into a gentleman by the name of Harold Wright, I believe his name was, from Alberta. And I asked him, I said, who are you cheering for? He said, well, of course, the Eskimos. He said, but you know what? Deep in my heart, I'd like to see Al Bruno win the Grey Cup because he does represent so many of us who never get the acclaim we're entitled to. He said, Al Bruno, nobody ever says he's a great coach, and yet this is the third straight year that his team is in the Grey Cup.
Mid-season, everybody is talking about Al Bruno. Will he or won't he survive the season? And as you said, 3 straight Grey Cups. On the other side of the field, you know, there have been very few outstanding players, particularly quarterbacks, who have parlayed a great career as a player into success as a coach. Well, Jackie Parker may be the exception to that theory. Jackie Parker in 1983, when he replaced Pete Catella, who was fired in midseason, many thought it was a Band-Aid approach, but each year that he has been the head coach, the Eskimos have improved upon their record. We're ready now for the national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, ton front nation de fleuron glorieux. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And all the excitement of the CFL Championship game is just around the corner. On CTV, this is Grey Cup 86 from BC Place in Vancouver.
Towers is going to be part of your family's Christmas this year. Come to Towers Wishes Sale and discover the holiday magic. And the sale continues with popular Levi's jeans and cords. It's Levi's Week at Towers, and right now, orange tap denim jeans and cords are at super low prices. Students, $19. Men's, $22. Give a gift of Levi's and you'll give a gift of comfort, fit, and style. Levi's are a great fashion addition to any wardrobe. So come to Towers Wishes Sale now and enjoy the holiday magic. Towers, we're part of your family.
It's going to be a great football game. I'm Pat Marsden. With me, Leif Pedersen and Frank Rigney. We're pumped up. The two teams are pumped up. Let's go to the field right now as we prepare for the opening kickoff. And it will come to Bender at the 14-yard line. Bender gets it to the 30, which is not the greatest return that you'll ever see, before Ron Howard was there to push him out of bounds. A 61-yard kickoff, only a 15-yard return, and there is the way they will line up. Mike Kerrigan is as sweet a looking quarterback as you will see. His setup is unbelievable. He can throw with the best of us.
Well, he certainly had a great game. But, Pat, I think the most significant change that Hamilton made was to put Tony Champion in as a slot back. They've got 3 deep threats, and then, of course, the reliable Rocky DiPietro.
So from their 28, Kerrigan comes out throwing. Just as well for him that the ball was underthrown, because Greg Harding would have been in the end zone going the other way. Looking for Steve Stapler was Kerrigan.
A little surprising, Pat, coming right out throwing the football. As you take a look at that big offensive line of the Hamilton Ticat, of course, Miles Gurrell, the Eastern nominee as lineman in the country, 6'8", 290 pounds.
He's a big one. And let me tell you something about Mike Kerrigan. He has completed 57% of his passes, but he did have a lot intercepted. This time he fires over the head of Walter Bender, and that is not exactly what the Ticats wanted. They wanted to come out, establish some kind of an offense, and instead it's 2 plays and out.
Well, I think what they would really like to do is not find themselves in the situation they were just in, 2nd and long. It's not a good situation against the Edmonton Eskimos. They can put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and of course those first 2 passes by Mike Kerrigan, not very good.
Leaf, I think if there's one big advantage in this football game in the specialty teams, I think it's right now Paul Esbalison is likely going to be out-kicked quite badly today.
That is not a particularly good kick, except this much. He got a good roll out of it. Tom Richards was not able to catch it on the flag, so he nets 40 yards on that punt, does Paul Osbaldiston. And now we are going to see the man that I consider to be really the ultimate Canadian quarterback, Matt Dunnigan.
Well, he's one of the best, and I know I've said many times before, if I was starting my football team, that's the guy I'd want to have at quarterback.
And some guys who can catch the football. Doug Allen is the newcomer in there. He played against BC last week, the brother of Calgary's Gary Allen. Dunnigan was hit from behind. The ball comes loose. And Hamilton has recovered at the 35. Oh, big Grover Covington, number 77. A guy who's going to put all kinds of pressure. And there is Leo Ezrins. Ezrins got the football. Covington got the hit. And the first big break of the ball game goes to the Ticats.
Well, when you come in as an underdog, you like to start off with something good happening to you. And that time, of course, the pressure of Grover Covington, the ball is loose. I believe it was Leo Ezrins that made the play, but Hamilton's in great shape.
Okay, it's still scoreless. We're just moments into this game. Grey Cup 86 will be back in just a moment.
We're talking to Canadians about taking charge of their financial futures because security and independence are important to us all. The life and health insurance industry recognizes that financial success means different things to different people. That's why we offer a wide choice of products, like RRSPs, disability insurance, retirement income funds, annuities, and many other savings and protection plans. To learn more, talk to your life insurance agent.
Chevy S10s from GM, Canada's #1 in truck sales.
You gotta keep working and staying #1.
And GM stays #1, making Chevy S10 pickups and maxi cabs the kind of value only #1 can make.
You gotta keep making the hardest trucks on the road.
Chevy puts more into building every new S10 with the quality and reliability you want.
You gotta keep working and staying #1. Way to go, Chevy!
Well, he's a very effective linebacker, and he was also a ball hawk at this moment as we take a look at Leo Ezrins. He gives possession to the Ticats at the Edmonton 35-yard line. Dan Huckluck, number 30, is in the ball game replacing Walter Bender, and maybe we could get Steve Armitage to tell us why as soon as he finds out. Kerrigan going deep. Touchdown, Hamilton. Steve Stapler. The little double pump fake. And Stapler got in behind the corner, Greg Harding.
Boy, what a beautiful throw. Pat, does that remind you of Stapler's catch in the Eastern Final game? Just a perfect throw by Mike Kerrigan.
Well, Riggs, I suspected they were going to go after Greg Harding because he's the guy you can get in behind. Stapler ran a hook and go, a perfect throw by Mike Kerrigan. And, you know, when you get a turnover, you, of course, love to take advantage of it. Hamilton did it pretty quickly.
One-play drive.
Well, there is no question that the speed at the receiver spots is definitely in favor of the Hamilton Ticats. You've got Ingram and Stapler on the outside, Tony Champion playing in the slot, and Rocky DiPietro to pick up all that garbage over the middle as the Ticats shock the Eskimos and jump out in front 7-0.
Well, of course, I'm sure so many people wondered, how will Mike Kerrigan handle the pressure today in the biggest game of his life so far? A couple of bad passes on the first series, but that time a beautiful strike to Steve Stapler.
Well, that's a very, very important leap, is it not, early in the football game to give a young guy like that confidence. You can't do it any better than that.
And the offensive line did a superb job in giving him time to throw. He was able to step up at 6'4". He's got great sight lines downfield, and boy, what a way to start, especially if you're the underdog.
And they really do resent the fact that so few people have had much confidence in their chance of winning this football game. In speaking with a number of the Ticats, they said the Eastern Conference was shut out in the Schenley balloting. Nobody thinks we're good enough to play against the Edmonton Eskimos. We'll find out later this afternoon.
Well, it took them 1 minute and 35 seconds to put the first major on the board. That's quick enough.
And I think we're going to have a lot of them here this afternoon, Riggs, on both sides. This will be Tom Richards from his 19-yard line. And Richards fights his way out over the 35 to about the 38. Let's go to Steve Armitage.
Thank you, Pat. With me now is Miss Grey Cup 1986, Mary Jeffrey from the Calgary Stampeders. Mary, congratulations. Was it the thrill of a lifetime being named Miss Grey Cup?
It certainly was. It's what a lot of girls dream of, and I guess I was just the lucky one that night. I feel very proud and honored.
The spirit here in Vancouver has been absolutely terrific.
It is incredible. The hotels are just beaming with excitement. It's just wonderful.
Who are you picking to win the game?
Well, I hope the West wins. I hope Edmonton wins, but of course the best team's going to win, so we're just here to enjoy the game.
Congratulations once again. Back to you, Pat.
The ball was overthrown by Dunnigan, intending it for Chris Skinner. Mark Streeter came up and gave him a little shot, too, as the ball went over his head. I think the Ticats want to be as physical as they have been at any time this year.
Well, of course, Mark Streeter is one of the more physical defensive backs in the league, but you know, you've got Jim Rockford, number 26, playing the corner. He has very little experience. On first down there, Hamilton was in his own defense to try and protect that. I'm sure you're going to see quite a bit of that.
2nd and 10, Eskimos. Well, that is, of course, what Hamilton wants to prevent. They do not want Dunnigan running all over the field. They put good pressure on him, but they couldn't contain him. He ends up picking up 14 yards before finally that man, 31, Ben Zambiazzi, made him pay the price.
Well, Pat, so far, neither one of these football clubs has brought a linebacker. They're trying to rush the opposing quarterbacks with just 4 people. And to rush Matt with 4 people, you've got a tough spot staying in your lanes. He'll take off that football every time they do that.
Out to the 52-yard line was Dunnigan. The handoff goes inside, and Chris Skinner will pick up about 3 or 4 yards.
Riggs, I think you made a great point about only rushing 4 people, but I really suspect that Hamilton is a little nervous about coming with the blitz because they don't want to get Jim Rockford, their young cornerback, locked up on a Brian Kelly or a Doug Allen one-on-one in a blitz situation.
And I'm a little bit surprised that they left Rockford on the corner. I thought that Howard Fields might end up playing the corner. However, it is 2nd down, about 7 yards to go for the Eskimos from midfield. And again, down goes Matt Dunnigan. Oh, there is just fantastic pressure. David Sauvé, Frank Robinson, Mike Walker, they all met at the quarterback. And, of course, this is what the Ticats have done so well this year. They have rushed the opposing quarterback. They got 77 sacks. They were 4th best in the CFL.
Yes, and their 2 meetings with the Eskimos this year, they had totally 8 sacks, and Frank Robinson's just had a great 1986. He's had 4 sacks on the year himself, and all those linebackers are excellent at the blitz.
You know, the one thing, too, Pat, I think the Hamilton Ticats probably do better than anybody else in the Canadian Football League, and that get that pressure from their down linemen. You know, a lot of people have to get linebackers in there to put pressure on you. Hamilton doesn't.
Oh, Tom Dixon shanks this one. Wayne Lee takes it at his 30-yard line. And Lee fights his way over the 40 to the 41. You know, Riggs, this game is reminiscent to me of the first Grey Cup that Huey Campbell coached in, and we'll get back and talk about that in just a moment, right after I pass along the reminder that Hamilton is out in front, 7-0 in Grey Cup 86. We'll be back in just a moment.
We are what you might call experts at putting things away.
Yeah, we put a few goals away, Bobby.
You've even put away a couple of wingers, Gordy.
Ooh, me? Never.
But hockey isn't the only thing we know. We also know our beer. That's why we drink Miller Lite.
Light tastes great.
And it tastes less filling than regular beer.
So how do we know so much about Light?
Well, let's just say, Gordy, that after a game, we like to put away more than just our equipment.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The All-Canada Get It and Forget It battery sale. Get it for a limited time from only $63.95, the Delco Freedom Live Eye battery. Then forget it. It's warranted for 60 months. Compare them to batteries costing $20 more. Delco Freedom, the Live Eye battery. Now several models specially priced from $63.95. Sale ends January 15th, 87. Get it and forget it. It keeps an eye on itself. At participating GM dealers or Delco battery retailers where you see this sign.
Riggs, the point I was going to make, back in that Grey Cup year when Edmonton played Montreal, the Eskimos were really gung-ho, and they came out of the chute jumping and hollering and screaming, and Montreal walked out like they were on their way to the office and won the game by 40-8 or something. And today I found the same thing. Hamilton was very businesslike, and the other guys were, you know, really pumped up, but it hasn't transformed itself here on the field. This is Bender. Oh, and he slips the first tackle that would have had him back in the backfield. It was Frank Balkovic, the linebacker, who made the good penetration, but he wasn't able to wrap him up.
Pat, I'll tell you one thing. It's easy to take that enthusiasm away from a ball club. In the first two plays, they fumble the football, and then they have 6 points put up against them.
No, you're right.
Well, there's a stat that the league is keeping this year, and it's the takeaway giveaway category. And, of course, Hamilton was a +10 this year, and that, of course, ranks second in the CFL, and already the one big turnover they've been able to get.
It's second down, 6 yards to go. Kerrigan lofts it out there to Bender. He wasn't able to make the catch. The ball was right on the money, but Craig Schaefer was right on Walter Bender.
Well, once again, he had pretty good protection, Frank, to throw that football. He seems to be having a little trouble throwing to the right side. The ball sailing a little bit. That is a tough catch for a running back coming out of the backfield. Looking back over your shoulder, try to make it, although Walter Bender just made an outstanding catch last week in Toronto.
So Paul Osbaldiston is in to kick for the Ticats, standing at his 30. Waiting is Steve Howell at 89 and Tom Richards. That one was very nearly blocked. This is Richards from the 34-yard line, and he only gets to about the 36 before he's dropped.
Well, Danny Bass came very close to blocking that punt, and if that's one area of concern for the Ticats, it's their kicking game with either Paul Osbaldiston or Steve Stapler when he's in punting. These guys are not quick at getting the ball off, and there you see Danny Bass almost got it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that if he could have one injury return, it would be Bernie Ruoff to come back and handle punting and the field goal. Well, let's see if the Eskimos can get on track here. They have the ball outside their 35-yard line, first down. Dunnigan over the middle. Chris Skinner makes the catch, then drops the football, and Ticats have the ball.
Well, they're going to count it as a reception.
Yeah, they're snake bit so far.
Looks like Ben Zambiazzi making the play, the outstanding middle linebacker, number 31 of the Ticats, and the second big turnover of the football game in the first 5.5 minutes goes once again against the Eskimos.
Well, it's Zambiazzi who really strips the ball loose from Chris Skinner. That was a great throw by quarterback Matt Dunnigan. A good play, and Skinner's got to hang on. Now, he's had trouble late in the year hanging on to the football, but at this point in time, not too many things going right for the Eskimos.
So the Ticats with possession at midfield. Kerrigan's pass is dropped by Rocky DiPietro. Ron Howard was the cornerback defending on that side.
You know, as you look at this receiving core of the Hamilton Tiger Cats right now, they've really got the perfect balance. 3 guys like Ingram, Stapler, and Champion that can go deep at any time, and then a guy like Rocky DiPietro who is so dependable on those medium-range patterns.
And then a guy like Walter Bender coming out of the backfield. So it's 2nd down and 10. Kerrigan floats that one up. Ingram goes down. Ticats want an interference call. There will be none forthcoming. As we go to the sidelines in Steve Armitage.
Pat, the reason you didn't see Walter Bender in the lineup for Hamilton in the early going was he had too much stickum on his hands. He had to come to the bench and wipe it off, and that's the reason he didn't go in the early going.
You know, it's funny. I thought maybe they had just made the move to put Huckluck in there to pass block, because on that one play, they, of course, did get the touchdown. Miles Baldiston, boy, he does take a lot of time. Gets this one away, however. And Steve Howlett zigged when maybe he should have zagged and is wrapped up at the 18-yard line. The special teams of the Ticats are playing like they're possessed. Pat Brady was first down, number 51. Oh, what a beautiful facility it is here in British Columbia. BC Place Stadium, as fine a building to watch any sporting event is. And Riggs, I'll tell you, you're so fortunate, because some of the places we go to, you know, should be destroyed, and here you walk in and you get all pumped up.
Well, there's close to 60,000 CFL fans enjoying the activity so far. The Ticats leading 7-0.
Oh, Dunnigan has his man, Brian Kelly, but the pass was overthrown. Lance Shields was defending against Brian Kelly.
Well, that's a matchup they've tried to get during the regular season. In fact, Brian Kelly was able to get in behind Lance Shields in a regular season game to win in Hamilton. But this young cornerback, Lance Shields, he's had 8 interceptions this year. He's played really well. He's had USFL experience and, of course, came to Hamilton last year on a 21-day trial. He's played well.
2nd and 10, and what appears to be an anti-Edmonton crowd gets on Dunnigan a little bit. And again, he's dropped. Well, when they write the story of this football game, they better talk about that young man, David Sauvé, because, you know, there was some discussion about whether or not Al Bruno was doing the right thing by allowing Sauvé to play as opposed to Rod Skillman.
Pat, what a tremendous job they do with their front people, but that time the Hamilton Ticats do bring their linebackers. Ben Zambiazzi comes from the middle, and almost all of them meet at the quarterback. Just great pressure.
There they all are. And there is Sauvé.
Zambiazzi got a piece of him as well, and Dixon's going to have to kick from close to his own 5-yard line.
It's interesting. Dave Sauvé originally was drafted by Edmonton. Couldn't make their club and moved to Hamilton.
Touchdown, Hamilton. Mark Streeter blocked the punt. And then you saw the recovery by Jim Rockford.
Talking about the Hamilton Ticats, Paul Baldiston taking time. Dixon certainly didn't get that one off very quickly, but once again, the Ticats just pouring through the offensive unit of the Edmonton Eskimos. Mark Streeter, I believe, was the Ticat that blocked the kick.
Of course, Jim Rockford, 26, the young rookie, falls on it, and what a break for the Ticats.
Well, this is a nightmare of a first quarter for the Eskimos. I would think there'd be the odd guy in the stands who bet with the 12 points who might be enjoying the situation right now. It is 14-0. Hamilton shocking Edmonton. Grey Cup 86 will be back in just a moment.
Is a Sony Trinitron commercial. Buy a Sony Trinitron or Videoscope before this year's end. Sony will give you a 5-year warranty because they last and last and last.
Hi, folks. I'm Martha Ray.
You know, I was never embarrassed about coming on TV and telling people I wore dentures. That's me. Tell it like it is. And now I'd like to tell you. There's a brand new Polident for us denture wearers. A super strength Polident. Look, a mean food and coffee stain. Now my new super strength Polident. It has more cleaning power than ever. Its mean stains cleaner, even in between. I think every denture wearer should use it.
Well, the Edmonton Eskimos have had the ball 4 times and turned it over on 3 of those occasions, including this block punt by Mark Streeter, recovered by Rockford in the end zone for the 2nd touchdown of the ball game for the Ticats.
How about Jim Rockford? If Les Brown doesn't hurt his knee, of course, Rockford doesn't even play today, and here in the first quarter, he's got a touchdown. Not bad.
This is Tom Richards from about his 18-yard line. And Richards, with a good return, is out over the 40 to about the 42. Riggs, let me ask you this. How long will Coach Parker go with Matt Dunnigan with the kind of pressure that he's been subjected to? Does he go to Damon Allen or not?
Well, he won't hesitate to change quarterbacks, Pat. He's done that all year long, but I don't really think you can fault Matt so far. He's had so much pressure on him, just right in his face immediately. What he's got to do here, I think, is start throwing a couple of little screens, draws, try to take something away from that Ticat defense or just teeing off on it.
And that one was very nearly picked off. Well, Mark Streeter, who's obviously very much interested in being one of the candidates for the Carling O'Keefe Defensive Game Star, has really played well in this opening quarter.
Well, it's the 2nd time Hamilton, they just get in that zone defense on 1st down, and Mark Streeter's job is to get out as quickly as he can into the flat area and get underneath the out pattern. And he did a super job and almost came up with one. He had 9 interceptions on the year.
That Hamilton defensive secondary averages very close to 6 years pro experience. They swing it out to Wilson Jones. The ball is ruled incomplete. For a split second, it appeared as though Jake Ireland was going to rule that a fumble. But he said no, incomplete forward pass. But again, it's 2 downs and out.
And Frank Robinson, the linebacker, just did an outstanding job of coverage. He did not see the football, but he was certainly right there.
Well, it was that little swing screen pass, and sometimes you don't have much luck because Frank Robinson was on Wilson Jones man-to-man. He was right there just as the ball arrived.
You know, it's not as though Hamilton is moving the ball all that effectively against Edmonton. It's the fact that the Eskimos have turned it over 3 times. So Dixon is back to punt once again on 3rd and 10. This is a beauty. Paul Bennett is back to his 19. And Bennett is out over the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Hamilton is playing exceptionally well in all facets of this game. Let's go to Al McCann.
Well, Pat, veteran Bill Stevenson would like to be helping his Eskimo mates, but Bill, so far, disaster for your team. What a terrible start.
Well, I think what's happening here, we made a few mistakes, but Hamilton's changing their defense up. All year long, they've gone with certain kinds of defenses, and now they're blitzing us like crazy. I think the reason they're doing that is because their offensive line has been adjusted so much. We've got different people playing all different kinds of positions, and I think they're trying to confuse us by just blitzing all over the place, and that's why we're having most of the problems right now. I think we'll be able to get through this stuff, though, and come back, because our defense is playing awesome, and I think we're going to be able to come back from this, and I think we're going to win this anyways.
Okay, Bill.
Well, Mike Kerrigan rolled to the left, stopped, fired the ball, and it was closer to more Edmonton Eskimos than Hamilton Ticats.
Once again, good time to throw the football, though. There's no question the Ticats are winning the game up front, both offensively and defensively against the Eskimos so far.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Hamilton. Kerrigan looks, fires, going deep again for Stapler, and he's got the football inside the 40-yard line at the 35. Oh, what a beautiful catch by Steve Stapler from San Diego State. He's been in this league 7 years and just having a career ball game.
Well, I'll tell you who's not having a career game is Greg Harding, because on 2nd and long, Edmonton said we're going to play a deep zone. Now, when you do that, he's got that deep corner of the field, and he shouldn't let Stapler get in behind him. Stapler, though, makes a great effort.
43 yards the game. Just a beautiful catch by Stapler. The ball right on the money by Mike Kerrigan. And the Ticats are back in Edmonton territory at their 35-yard line. On the draw, this is Walter Bender trying to get to the outside now. But he's wrapped up by Craig Schaefer after a pickup of only about 3. He wanted to go inside. Then he got to the outside but couldn't get around the corner. Steve Armitage, what's happening?
Pat, I've got Mark Streeter with me down here on the Ticats bench. Mark, your team is playing inspired football.
Oh, yes, we are. As far as the block, I like to say I'll give God all the praise and glory. Mitch Price freed me up. I blocked the ball. Jim Rocker fell in the end zone. And that's the way we play ball as a team unit and inspired, as you said.
Good luck, Mark. Pat?
Well, the pickup was only a couple of yards, so Meckett's second and 8. And again, Walter Bender drops the football. That's a drive-killing drop pass that doesn't do a whole lot to pump up your offense.
Well, Frank, I think it's apparent now here in the first quarter that Edmonton has decided they're not going to blitz Mike Kerrigan too much this afternoon. Maybe they feel with the speed in that receiving core, they don't want to get locked up in too many one-on-one situations, but they're just coming with 4 men, and they're not getting any pressure on Kerrigan at all.
This will be a 39-yard field goal attempt by Paul Osbaldiston, well within his range. He was drilling them through from around midfield in practice. It is good. Can you believe this?
That kick was almost blocked. We already had one.
I mean, who could have predicted that in the first quarter the Edmonton Eskimos would be trailing 17-0?
Number 92, Zachary splits the seam there, comes inside of Leo Ezrins, I believe, almost blocks that kick. It's been a strange first quarter.
It really has.
Completely dominated by Al Bruno and his Ticats.
You know, Al Bruno has to be so pleased to have been able to get Paul Osbaldiston. You know, this year he kicks a 51-yarder in the rain in Regina to give them a tie. He kicks the game winner against the Ottawa Rough Riders. This young fella's just done a great job.
3 minutes, 30 seconds left to play in the opening quarter. 17-0, Hamilton. 12-point underdogs coming into the ball game. Mark Jackson, number 5, is back along with Tom Richards, number 25, to receive the kick from this man. Osbaldiston is from the British Columbia area. Now this is Mark Jackson from his 15-yard line. He's finally covered at about the 35. He had his legs going so fast that he kind of tripped himself. Steve Armitage, what's happening?
Pat, we have an injury report from the Hamilton Ticat bench. Jim Rockford has gone to the dressing room. He split the underneath of his chin. He has gone in for stitches. And Pat, he's also gone in to get his pants repaired. He ripped his pants.
Well, of course, that means then, excuse me, Pat, that number 37, Terry Lean, will come in at the halfback spot. Howard Fields, number 16, moves out to the corner.
Number 37 is Terry Lane. Marco Sincar lines up opposite him, but the ball is handed inside to Milson Jones, and Jones gets to about the 39-yard line with a pickup of about 4 yards. Frank Robinson and David Sauvé, 43 and 88 respectively, make the stop. And there you take a look at Dunnigan looking at his wrist. He's got the plays written on adhesive tape there, and he just checks them over. And he's called it now on 2nd and 7. Obviously a passing play. Let's see where he goes. Hamilton blitzes on the play. They brought Terry Lane, and a penalty marker comes down. It'll be Leo Ezrins called for interference on Skinner.
Ezrins knew he was going to see that flag as well.
Forward pass interference. Hamilton, number 72. First down.
Well, Leo's been active.
There's no question about this one. Skinner gives him a good move to the inside, and I think Leo Edwards made the smart play. You're in a blitz situation like that. If he lets Skinner get away, he can go for a big one. No, Leo made the right move. Hold him and take the penalty.
Very good point that you make. It is first down, Edmonton, the ball at their 44-yard line. Quickly to Rick House. The ball comes free again, and they will rule no catch. In other words, it is not a fumble, and that's a bit of a break for the Eskimos, who desperately need one.
Frank, I was talking to Glenn Jackson, the fine linebacker of the BC Lions, the other night, and I said, Glenn, what would you do if you were the defensive coordinator of Hamilton in this game? He said, I would bring everybody I could against Matt Dunnigan. They've run safety blitzes, all-out blitzes, and, boy, they've been effective with it.
Here they come again.
This time the catch is made on the sidelines. That's the newcomer, Doug Allen, with Howard Fields bouncing him out.
What a great debut Doug Allen had last week for the Edmonton Eskimos. 3 catches in that football game against the BC Lions. One of them a 98-yard touchdown score. 124 yards total yardage against the BC Lions.
Not a bad way to break in.
Oh.
Well, as you can see, it's been anything but an offensive display to this point. Dunnigan is forced out right at the yardstick. Howard Fields again there to make the play defensively for the Ticats. And with 1:40 left to play in this opening quarter, allow me to put a bit of a damper on proceedings right now by offering sympathy to the family of a good friend of all of us in football, Ray Boucher. Ray Boucher was a referee in the Canadian Football League for many, many years and a close observer of the CFL scene. He passed away in Ottawa today. To Madeline and his family, we extend our deepest sympathy. It's second down, 11 yards to go. Edmonton with the ball on Hamilton's side of midfield as a penalty marker comes down, and Milson Jones doesn't catch the football.
I don't think I've seen
Edmonton number 55.
I've seen a game where the ball is being dropped by so many different people. Obviously, weather's not a factor here at BC Place. Nobody can hold on.
Well, I think the nerves really get going in a Grey Cup game. And, you know, let's face it, the Edmonton Eskimos have got some young guys on that club. Milson Jones, well, he hasn't played, you know, and it's tough for these guys. But, you know, you get 2 or 3 series, you think they'd work the jitters out.
Incidentally, the penalty was against 55, Kurt Chapman, the right guard.
I'll tell you one other thing. That Hamilton defense is really a physical defense, and the Edmonton Eskimo receivers know that. And, you know, every once in a while, you start thinking about that when you're going to catch the football.
If you don't, you're stupid. What a beautiful punt by Dixon to Paul Bennett at the 8-yard line. Now, that's the best job that the cover team of the Eskimos has done here this afternoon. They're down to limit him to a return of just 6 yards after a 45-yard punt. Steve?
Pat, I'm standing on the sidelines behind the Hamilton bench holding the helmet that belongs to David Sauvé. You can see the shamrock. This is in honor of the late King Clancy, a good friend of the Hamilton Ticats and, of course, a good friend of their owner, Harold Ballard.
Harold is here today, or was to be here, and I'm sure he wouldn't have missed it for the world. And there was never a doubt in his mind. He told me, no question, we'll just stomp on those guys. Well, to this point, he's right, simply because the Eskimos haven't had too many breaks go their way. John Mandarich made the stop. As you take a look at Walter Bender, still down after carrying the football for a pickup of about 4 or 5 yards. It's an amazing thing. Hamilton's 17 points is the second most in the first quarter of any Grey Cup game. The record of 18 was achieved by Hamilton in the 1943 Grey Cup game against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. There's Harold with Joe Zuger.
Well, Harold's having a great year so far. The Toronto Maple Leafs in first place. The Hamilton Tiger Cats, their 3rd Grey Cup in a row.
Looks great, too, doesn't he?
He sure does.
Way to go, Harold. You're not looking bad for an old-timer.
I tell you, the Ticats don't want to lose Walter Bender, and he looks like he's in a great deal of pain down there. Now, he's only averaged 3.8 yards when he's rushed with the football, but they want him as a primary pass receiver coming out of the backfield, and they do not want to lose him.
There was some suspicion that the way the Eskimos might stop that passing attack of the Ticats would be to really jam Tony Champion at the line of scrimmage. Have you noticed that they've been giving him the odd little shot?
Well, they've been playing so much zone defense. You know, the linebackers try and give him a shot, but Tony Champion is a true sprinter, got great quickness, and he's a tough guy to jam off the line of scrimmage.
Jackie, you know, has to be concerned, but Riggs, I think he's done an outstanding job this year.
Oh, he has without question. I think he's just as surprised as what has gone on in his first 10 minutes as anybody is. As we took a look at Bender, just in severe pain, obviously. Let's go down to Al McCann at field level.
Well, all is certainly not sweetness and light here on the Eskimo bench either. 17-0 the score, and Rod Kahn up there, starting offensive guard, had his bell rung a little bit on the last play, and he was having problems remembering who his backup man even was, and I think he'll probably miss a series, although he says, I can play. But certainly, it's been a rocky start for the Grey Cup, at least the Western champions.
Al, what are they saying down there? What are the players muttering?
Well, the players are, concerned. This is a very young team, as you know, and the coaches are working with them and trying to keep them cool, and the injured players are trying to help. But they're stunned a little bit, and it's reminiscent of that Grey Cup a few years back when it was 20-1 for Ottawa at halftime.
Yeah, there's still so much time left in this game, and Edmonton has such an explosive attack that 17 points shouldn't really terrify them, but it's something to think about, I suppose.
I wouldn't be surprised, Pat, if Jack Parker sees fit to utilize Damon Allen if Matt doesn't get them going in a series or two.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise too many people, I wouldn't think. But in fairness to Matt, I mean, he hasn't had a whole lot of time to think about things back there.
Well, in fairness also to Dunnigan, you know, they cough up the football. Chris Skinner, after a great throw, he read the zone perfectly, and it wasn't his fault. You know, things just haven't gone their way.
So it's second down, and let's call it 6 yards to go for the Ticats at their 18-yard line. Kerrigan again looking for Ingram, and this one is stolen away by Greg Harding. Oh, that's a magnificent interception, and isn't it nice to see that Harding comes up with the big play, because he has been victimized by Steve Stapler.
Pat, for one of the few times in this ball game, the Edmonton Eskimos come with a full blitz. You'll see their linebackers, Schaefer and Bass, coming in to try and put pressure on Kerrigan, and obviously man-to-man coverage. Leaf, you talked about Harding and the guy that they were going to try to pick on. They have been very successful until that play.
Well, he does a super job, and you know what you want to do as a defensive back is stay on the hip of the receiver and then make your break. He did it perfectly.
From the Hamilton 48-yard line, it is first down for Matt Dunnigan. And now he's going for the bundle. And Rick House and Brian Kelly collided, and one bounced off the goal post. Kelly is a little slower getting to his feet. Fortunately, they're both all right.
Well, you can see the goalposts are still shaking, and this is pretty scary. Trying to go to Kelly on the post, but watch House hit him. They knock into that goalpost, and they're lucky somebody didn't get hurt badly.
Well, at the end of the first quarter, the score is Hamilton 17, Edmonton nothing. Grey Cup 86 will return with the second quarter in a moment.
Introducing an incredible advance in Gillette shaving smoothness. New Atra Plus. The Plus is this unique white strip that releases lubricants as you shave. You never felt anything smoother. New Atra Plus by Gillette. The essence of shaving.
Imagination a fiery boost of turbocharged inspiration with a Pontiac Sunbird GT.
Tell me, can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? Pontiac, the heat is on, it's on the street.
You want to know 7 words that'll make Mom's day?
Let's have dinner at McDonald's tonight, Mom.
That's it. Come on. You know what they are.
Well, let's have dinner at McDonald's tonight, Mom.
Now, that wasn't too hard, was it?
7 words. 7 words most often. 4, 5, 6. It's a good time. 7. For the great taste of McDonald's.
Come on, say it.
Let's have dinner at McDonald's tomorrow night, Mom. Hey, that's 8 words.
If
If you've ever tried recording the late movie and ended up with the morning farm report, you'll love Zenith's VCR on-screen programming. It lets you correct your mistakes instead of watching them. Zenith. Quality.
As we start the second quarter, it is second down, 10 yards to go. Dunnigan again in trouble. The ball again comes loose. Leo Ezrins was there to make the tackle. Zambiasi was there to recover the football. Hamilton has it back in Edmonton territory.
Lee, we've talked about it so much already in this first quarter of this football game, how that pressure of the Hamilton Ticats. First of all, they started the pressure with only the down linemen. Now they're bringing their linebackers, and almost nobody gets blocked.
Well, Zambiasi's the first one to get there. Ezrin trips the ball loose, and Big Ben Zambiasi comes up with the fumble recovery. But, you know, you look at championship teams, and you classify them in a number of ways. Do they have a good defense for starters? Hamilton has a great one.
They also have the football at the Edmonton 53. And rush it into about the 49-yard line. Danny Bass and James Zachary were there to make the tackle on Jed Tommy, who carried the ball for the first time on that particular occasion. You know, Kerrigan and Dunnigan, the two Irish field generals, have had something less than career games. Kerrigan is 2 out of 10 in passing. Dunnigan is 2 out of 9. But Kerrigan likes his chances better because he's out in front 17-0. Second down, 7 yards to go. Right over the middle to Ingram, and Ingram came within a step of breaking it all the way. He got inside Greg Harding. Harding made the shoestring tackle, otherwise it's end zone.
Well, I know this is one of the things that Don Southern was concerned about, getting caught in a blitz one-on-one. Ron Ingram that time on Greg Harding, and that's the area they've gone. They've had some big plays over there.
18 yards to pick up. First down, Ticats. The ball at the 30-yard line. There's the big stat. 3 turnovers to 1. Over the middle again, this time to DiPietro, who's wrapped up immediately by Danny Bass and only manages about 3 yards. Rocky said, well, nobody won any Shenleys. Maybe we will win the one that it's all about anyway. They've got a leg up on it with 12:55 left to play in the first half. 17-0 Hamilton, looking for more. Second down, 8 yards to go from the 28-yard line of the Eskimos. Kerrigan, Ford champion, picked off. Phil Jones with the interception. Well, the wily old veteran who played his college ball at Simon Fraser, Phil Jones, comes up with a big play.
Well, Edmonton brought Mark Jackson into the game as the 6th defensive back and played a 2-man deep zone, and Phil Jones gets the easy interception. I think he pulled a hamstring there as well.
12:35 left to play in the second quarter. 17-0 Hamilton leading Edmonton. Grey Cup 86 will be back in just a moment.
Walt Disney's Song of the South is back. The timeless tales of American folklore spring to life in the adventures of Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and Brer Bear, together with the unforgettable songs of Disney. For a limited time only, and only at a theater near you, it's the magic of Walt Disney's classic Song of the South.
Now playing at a Famous Players and other selected theaters near you. Check your local listings.
Holly Gully presents the Honda Line Accessory Christmas Spectacular. No matter what you ride, no one else has the selection of accessories at prices so low. Honda Line fiberglass helmets from $49.95, up to 40% off all motocross gear, and spectacular savings on leather. Only Holly Gully can give you their years of experience and the best price. Plus, from now until Christmas, we'll take your Canadian Tire money at par. Holly Gully Honda, the only place to buy your accessories.
Say hello, Holly Gully, bye-bye blues.
Phil Jones may have saved the ball game for the Eskimos because trailing 17-0, you don't want to give another 7 up. 17, incidentally, seems to be the magic number right now. Hamilton leads 17-0. Edmonton has moved the football a total of just 17 yards.
It's been all defense of the Hamilton Tiger Cats here in the first half so far. Big turnovers.
Briggs, it's got to be just amazing for you to have seen Edmonton in the flesh last week. Looked like they could beat anybody in the world.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm really, really impressed with this Ticat defense. I think they're just dominating this football game.
Dunnigan collides in the backfield. Finally does pick up the ball. Has Brian Kelly, but it's picked up. Lance Shields, number 28, comes up with the big play again.
Talked about Lance Shields. He's had a super year for the Ticats. Watch the hit by Ben Zambiasi coming up right there. Dunnigan saw him coming and floated it. Great reaction by Lance Shields to make the interception.
I think that play really tells you everything you want to know about how the Eskimos have played this afternoon. Matt takes the pass from center, bumps in to Milson Jones, and then throws the interception.
Looks a little like a fire drill. They do not look organized on offense.
So Hamilton has possession at their 38-yard line. Kerrigan's pass is caught by Tony Champion up around the 45. This is exactly now what they want. Got a penalty marker down. Is Mandridge headbutting somebody out there?
I think it may be roughing the passer.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 58.
Oh, it's going the other way. Jason Riley, number 58, the offensive guard, called for the infraction. He and John Mandridge having quite a battle out there so far this afternoon.
I don't know if you'll see after the ball was released. There goes Jason Riley, and he takes a shot at Mandridge in the back, and that's a good call. There's no sense in doing that.
Well, it nullifies what would have been a 6-yard gain as well.
The Eskimos have even more problems back.
You were saying about the problems, Al.
Phil Jones, who intercepted a while back, damaged his knee, and he's trying to walk it off, but that would mean Jeff Volpe, number 18, would have to go into the ball game. Either that or shuffle it around completely.
It's 1st and 25, and on the draw, they give to Walter Bender, and Walter's going no place. Danny Bass, the middle linebacker, number 30.
Frank, you saw Danny Bass a lot this season, and some people say this was his best ever.
Well, he had an excellent year. He, of course, leads the Eskimos in initial tackles, but you know the guy they've almost completely ignored here is Stuart Hill. I mean, Stuart Hill was the designated sacker, obviously led this football club in putting pressure on opposing quarterbacks, but he's been not a factor at all. Stuart Hill, 36.
So it's 2nd and 25. The ball is at the Hamilton 22-yard line. Penalty marker comes down. Time count violation against Kerrigan, I'm sure.
You talk about Stuart Hill, Frank.
Time count violation. Hamilton, number 2.
Ralph Schultz, number 67, is that right tackle. And the only reason he is playing is because of the injury to John Malinowski. And if we haven't mentioned Stu Hill, it means that Schultz is doing a good job.
The ball is now back at the 18-yard line. They've got to get to the 49 for a first down. So
good luck.
Yeah, it's 2nd and 31. There aren't a whole lot of plays that are put in for that. Well, there was real confusion. Tony Champion went down before the ball got to him. Now has words with Cliff Toney. And Greg Harding has a word or two for him as well.
This has not been the most well-played football game I've ever seen.
Well, in all fairness to Tony Champion, you know, he played wide receiver for most of the year, and moving into the slot back position, the reads are entirely different, and he just got himself into the wrong spot.
Leaf, the Eskimos might have been a little suspect there. They had both of their backup defensive backs in the game, both Volpe and Jackson, because now Phil Jones has gone to the dressing room with that bad knee.
Thank you, Al McCann. Here's the punt from Paul Osbaldiston. Tom Richards gets into Hamilton territory at about the 53. And we had Wayne Lee. He was jawing it up a little bit with Greg Harding. No penalty marker down, however. It's 17-0. Hamilton leading Edmonton. Grey Cup 86 will be back in just a moment.
A great name in beer should be the start of a truly great tasting light beer. Now it's here. New OV Light. A great taste in beer comes to light.
Edge Gel. Watch this demonstration versus foam using an ordinary credit card. First, I'll shave the left side with foam, the right side with Edge. Now listen to the foam side. Then listen to the Edge side.